Imagine this. Immigration Canada secretly asking Canadians, without Parliament's approval, how you feel about using a digital version of your passport as an identity document within Canada. Believe it or not, this was a question embedded in the 2024 Passport Client Experience Survey. My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. As you can see, I'm alone right now because guess what? My co-host just got pulled over and is currently getting a ticket. So he will join us once he joins us. But in the meantime, you heard me right. I was doing, as always, I was doing a bunch of research. And Blacklock's reporter, as always, I don't know if you guys follow this website. You have to go check it out. You absolutely have. It's not a sponsor by any stretch of the imagination. It is just very, very, very interesting content that they share. It's always breaking stuff. It's always stuff that nobody else talks about. But Blacklock's reporter is reporting on a survey question that Immigration Canada has been asking during the 2024 survey that they have for clients, I guess, for people that apply for passport or gets them renewed. You know, at the end of an activity that you do with a company, the government, I guess, they ask you a question or they ask you to fill out a survey. This is what I'm talking about. So here is the article from Blacklock's reporter, and keep this in mind, there is not a lot of people talking about this right now. It's them, Rebel News, and what's the other place? Western, I can't remember. Western Standards. Those are the only three places that are talking about this right now. And they're all referring to the document from Blacklock's reporter. So here is the article from Blacklock's where they speak about the use of a passport in Canada and abroad as ID. So here is the article per se. Feds eyes domestic passport. The Department of Immigration, without any parliament scrutiny, ordered research into enforcement of a national ID system using digital passport. To access to information document shows MPs have repeatedly rejected any national identity scheme as costly and dangerous. The assumption is the passport would be used within Canada as an identity document. There, as I said, there is not a lot of information on this, but you heard that right. The government Department of Immigration Canada has been secretly asking Canadians the following question. So hold on. Where's my damn question? Here you go. This is a question that Immigration Canada has been asking secretly as part of their survey in 2024. How comfortable would you be sharing a secure digital version of the passport within Canada as an identity document? So the government is asking you, its citizens, how would you feel about using a digital passport within the limits of Canada?
Yeah, I mean, hey, so welcome to the
what
show.
the fuck?
Yeah, welcome to the show. Yeah. So yeah,
what the fuck?
I just got a speeding ticket, so that was nice. But and now we have this. Great day.
It's okay, man. Don't worry. It'll be on your passport soon enough. Your passport, your speeding ticket will be shown on your digital ID, your digital passport.
But it'll lower my social credit score, I'm sure.
Oh, of course. But you know, this is something that I speak about all the time, about digital ID and how absolutely insane that is. How they've been working on a version of a digital ID since pre-COVID, but during COVID, they actively worked on one that would have been shared not only within Canada, but with other countries that enforced vaccination so that you could obviously show your vaccination status with other countries to make sure that you were being safe and effective and you were following the rules of the Commonwealth. But now we have Immigration Canada asking us behind closed doors, with one of their surveys. Like, the surveys that's what I was saying before you showed up, the type of surveys that people take when you just receive service from whatever entity, whatever business, whatever government entity. Please take our 1 minute survey, blah 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 blah. Well, that's what we're talking about. And I should show this before I actually share what Rebel News is saying about this, because they did research it. There, as I said, Western Standard and Rebel News are the only two outlets that I could find that was actually reporting on this. But here's the result. Supposedly that there's a big part of Canadians that would actually use the passport as digital ID. So again, the question, how comfortable would you be sharing secure digital version of the passport within Canada as an identity document? As per the result that was received by Blacklock's reporter, we're looking at 64% of Canadians were interested, and 18% of Canadians that were like not interested, as in fuck no, I'm not doing this. That worries me. I don't know for you, man, but having 64% of Canadians saying that they would be okay, or they would consider, they always have different level to those questions. It's never black and white, right? It's never, would you use one? Yes or no. It's always some type of, I would use it, I would consider it. But imagine 64% of Canadians would consider using one, compared to 18 that is like, no thank you.
Hold on,
that kind of worries me.
What digital ID?
Yeah, so there's it's true, you missed the introduction, but basically what happens is that Blacklock's reporter is reporting. I hate to say Blacklock's reporter is reporting, but that's the name of the that the reporters are reporting. I feel like I'm using your repetitive nature here,
redundancy,
but yeah. But basically they came out today saying that behind closed doors, as part of their 2024 client satisfaction survey, Immigration Canada has been asking Canadians how they would feel about using a digital version of their passport as an ID document within Canada. So they're talking about digital ID, that is their passport, used within Canada.
I don't think that's too, I wouldn't be too concerned. As Brian Watson says here, people don't know what it's about. Yeah, people don't see it as anything sinister or suspicious. It's just, to them, they just think ID. I mean, that's how I thought of it. And when I
fair enough.
About this, I don't know, 6 months
fair
ago.
enough.
I think once the debate actually happens and people are actually talking about it, I think you'll see those numbers change.
All you need to do is you don't even need to have that much of a debate. Just go to what's going on in the UK and look at what Stammer is saying about it. Like, he is openly saying that by the end of this term, if you do not have digital ID, you will not be able to work. So this is where we're going, right? Doesn't that remind you of the COVID passport? Oh, don't worry. 2 weeks to flatten the curve into, you don't have a passport vaccination. You don't have a vaccination passport. Sorry, man. You can't go to the restaurant anymore. You can't work. You have to hopefully start prostituting yourself in order to afford life.
Sorry, you're not able to fly, sir. You've got to take the bus.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. I wasn't allowed on the bus.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
No. When I say that the only two places that I was legally able to go during COVID because I was not vaccinated was the grocery store and the pharmacy. That is all. That's it. I was not allowed anywhere else legally. I got to say, though, I will say this. There are restaurants out there, gyms out there that don't care, that did the right thing, fully knowing that I was not vaccinated. They did not care. And to this day, I still go to those restaurants when I go out. Not because they're the best restaurants, but because the owners got balls and they did not give a fuck. I respect that. So, but yeah, during those times, that's all I could do. So I agree with you, though. You're bringing up a good point, because again, like I said, there's not a lot of information on this right now. This was just breaking today. Rebel and Western, shit, why can I not remember their website? Western. What did I say earlier? Western Digital are the only two talking about it, but they're referencing the article of Blacklock's reporter. So we have no information outside of this, but all to say that this is a conversation that we need to have. Like as a country, we need to have the conversation about digital ID because it has started. Remember, I think it was last year they introduced the digitalization of your medical records. So everything is digital now. It's being shared. And I found a video. I think I'm going to play it. I found a video that was posted on Rebel Media. And it was part of the article that they published about the survey that we're just talking about right now. But what I found interesting is that the woman that wrote it, I don't know her, Tamara Ugolini. Like, I don't really follow Rebel News. I find them too out there, as in they're too sensationalist. But they're about the only ones that are talking about it, so there's not a lot of reference to use. But one of the things that they talk about, which I found to be, yes, absolutely, you're absolutely right, Claire Robitaille, it is Western Standard, thank you. It is, you're bang on. So they're sharing, oh shit, my bad, not sharing my screen right now. There you go. So they basically published this, they reposted the Blacklock's reporter. But what I found interesting is a video that the same woman, Tamara, the same woman that wrote the article, published back in March 2024, so over a year and a half ago. And this is what happened when Public Health Agency of Canada was looking to hire someone to solicit your confidential medical records through your family doctor, despite the agency history of disregarding personal and privacy throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. So I'm just going to play the video. It's like 2 minutes long. But what's interesting is that there was a job posting in order to help solicit the government receiving confidential medical records through your family doctor. Because right now it's digitalized, right? Your medical record are available online. The government has access to them. But listen to what she claims they were trying to do. I do not believe this has been done yet. At least they reported on it, as in they were talking about it at this point. But this gives you an idea of where they want to go, obviously, with digital ID.
The Public Health Agency of Canada, which has been known to disregard privacy concerns in the past, is now looking to hire someone to track and trace your private medical information and your records through the newly introduced electronic medical record systems at primary care physician offices. In recent weeks, the Government of Canada has put out a call to hire somebody to track and trace the medical records of all Canadians. In a publication put out on March the 6th, Health Canada put out a call for a supplier to help what they call strengthen public health surveillance through primary care insights. The description reads, the adoption of electronic medical record EMR systems in Canadian primary care settings is widespread, and their potential benefits for disease surveillance are well acknowledged. Pan-Canadian primary care EMR data is recognized as valuable for federal public health surveillance programs. The recently released Pan-Canadian Health Data Strategy emphasizes the importance of primary care research moving towards real-time data sharing and person-centric data.
So this is a part that is worth mentioning, because this is the part that worries me, is the recent released Pan-Canadian Health Data Strategy emphasizes the importance of primary care research moving towards real-time data sharing and person-centric data. So real-time data sharing, this is literally, you went to the doctor now, they tested you for, let's say, COVID, and you tested positive, automatically this is uploaded. The government has access to this. And you know that this will be, if their system are connected with, of course they are now, connected with your electronic medical record, that means you're triggering an alarm on their side so that they know that you have COVID, so that they can start tracing who has COVID. This is the idea that they're going to sell you. But they want this data in real time, so it needs to be instantaneous. That means everything that you're doing through your electronic medical record will automatically be obtained by the government. And the other thing to take notice here is person-centric data. What does that sound like? Person-centric data. Your data attached to your identity, to who you are. So they want to be able to trace in real time your data. So what you're doing, let's say, do you have COVID? Do you have something that has to do with an electronic medical record? At least that's what they state for the time being. And then they want it to be attached to a person-centric data, which is basically, we talked about this before. You have the digital ID, and then what do they do next? The plan is always to connect to your biometrics. So they have a digital ID. Let's say in this case, we're talking about a digital passport that could be used within the borders of Canada. Imagine the COVID passport back in the days, right? A few years ago, we had the COVID passport. Okay, cool. So this was digital. You had it on your cell phone. Imagine that your biometrics were attached to that. Your eyes, your iris is attached to it. Your fingerprints are attached to it. Your face is attached to it through EMR. They have access to all of that information. They know what you look like. They have your fingerprints. Chances are they do. Chances are it's possible they have your DNA. So now they're able to start identifying, start collecting data, as it says here, in real time, attach it to a person centric. So they basically have information about you in real time attached to you. Then how easy is it to attach it to a digital ID afterwards? And this is where it starts becoming extremely, extremely dangerous, is when you start, okay, at the end of the day, if you just think about it, and as you were saying at the beginning, the average Canadian hears digital ID. Oh shit, that means I don't have to carry a physical card in my wallet anymore. I can just have it on my cell phone and that's it. Just like you do with your bank, for example, right? You don't necessarily need your bank. A lot of people swipe their phone. Fucking idiots, never do that. But if you do, if like people enable the EMF on their phones to be able to tap everywhere, wow, I can't believe people do that. But hey, whatever. That it's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. Lose it to thieves if you want. But people don't see that as a big deal, and you're right. You're right that people don't see that as a big deal.
Oh yeah, and most people are sleepwalking, right?
But a year and a half ago, they were talking about this. So a year and a half ago, they were looking to hire someone, because the website you saw is Merck's. Merck's is the website that the federal government uses to ditch out contracts, to say, hey, to all the people out there that are looking to do business with the government of Canada, Merck's is the website that you go on to bid on contracts, to see what the government needs. And you can then bid on their contracts in order to get business with the government. So this is an official website. We've used it. I've used it in the past, but they were looking for someone to integrate that type of service, to obtain those medical records in real time, to somewhat attach that to person-centric data, as they call it. Now they're saying that within their survey last year, Immigration Canada, without any government oversight, without parliament oversight, should I say, was asking questions, or at least one question, to the people that took the survey, as in, are you comfortable with this or not? Now, like I saw a few of the comments, do I trust those results? No, not really. I don't trust that it was that high, but would it surprise me if it was that high? No, not really, because I don't think the average Canadian realize what happens with a digital ID, how easy it is to attach that to your biometrics that could be obtained through your medical records, that could be then attached to cameras that can recognize through facial recognition everywhere that you go. Once you have a digital ID that's attached to biometrics, and installing a digital social credit score like you see in China is very easy to do. The technology, we already have the technology to do it. And with AI, it gives you the speed to be able to obtain all those records and make sense of it. Because it would have been a lot of data for a human being to look at this 10 years ago. And that was always the problem that we were having. Data has always been there. The NSA has been collecting that data since 9/11. So they've already had all that data. It's just, you can't have a human being start looking through all that data. It made no sense. It took too long. But man, AI is so powerful today that you can literally go in command, Give me access to this guy. Find this guy. Every record you can find on this guy. Enter. Organize it in a GUI, in a nice interface that I can look at the information and make sense of it. All that technology is there right now. It is fucking scary, man. I hope that this brings up a conversation, at least a public conversation, as to what digital IDs are really about. And they're not about making your life easier. They're not. Just look at what's going on in the UK.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's obviously the worst case scenario, right? And it's easy to say, oh, that couldn't happen here, but I guarantee you they thought that in the UK. You know, I mean, they never thought it would get like that. I think I read somewhere like it's like 5,000 people. Actually, I'm gonna look up the numbers, but it's thousands of people have been arrested for tweets. It's not just like one or two cases. Like it's a lot of people who are going to jail. There's crazy. There's one case of a woman who was raped, and she texted. She was sexually assaulted. She texted a friend or someone she thought was a friend, and she called her rapist the gay F word. I don't know if we can say it here on YouTube.
Faggot.
Yeah. I don't know if we can say this on YouTube, but yeah, she called him a faggot.
Too late, man.
A private text to her friend, and her friend reported it to the cops. She got arrested. She did more time than the guy who sexually assaulted her. This is like dystopian shit, and it's actually happening in real life.
Well, funny enough, I don't want to say funny enough because it ain't funny at all, but if you look at what's going on in the UK, that Starmer has been talking about the digital ID over the past few months. And as I said, he has said publicly that you will need a digital ID in order to work by the end of his mandate. And if I remember correctly, his mandate is done in like 2028 or 2029. So you're looking within the next 3 to 4 years, the UK will be implementing full-fledged digital ID, and this is the answer to mass immigration. It is the dumbest thing you've ever heard. I suggest you go Google it and just look for what Starmer have said, but basically he's selling the idea that you should have a digital ID because in order to receive services from the government, you will need one, and this is how we will be able to identify the people that came here illegally because they will not be able to get a digital ID. Then you had a reporter asking one of his minister. But one of the reporters, I showed the video on this show where the reporter asked one of his ministers, he's like, okay, but hold on there. How would I need to prove my identity for the digital ID? They're like, well, what's your social insurance number and other government issued ID? So why do I need a digital ID then if you can already authenticate me through my existing, and the person doesn't have an answer to that? Because obviously there's no answer. They're trying to sell the idea that in order to prevent illegal immigration, we need a digital ID. They created a problem trying to sell a solution, and the solution, if you ask one single question, doesn't make any sense. It crumbles on itself. If an illegal immigrant does not have a legal status, he doesn't have identity. He doesn't have IDs. He doesn't have IDs that are provided by the government. If he does, you fucked up and you didn't do your job. So how about you fix that problem instead of selling me a digital ID? It makes no sense.
It's not like oh, we need digital ID to stop the illegal immigrants. No, why don't you stop the illegal immigrants? Like, just stop them. Especially in the UK, where they're not, they're not sneaking under. They're literally coming in on boats, like small. Boats. They can be stopped if they want to stop them.
Yep. I don't know if you saw some comments that you want to take. If you do, please take them because we're talking about the UK. There's a case I wanted to talk about that's going on in the UK with an ex-football player. When I say football, I mean soccer, like an ex-soccer player. I don't know if you heard about Joey Barton. I have a couple of videos to show, but the guy he's one of the 5,000 people you were describing. In his case, it's worse because the dude has like 2.5 million followers in an ex-football player. I think he played for Manchester United. So he's quite known. And yeah, he's been sentenced to 6 months in prison So we'll talk about it
Wow.
afterwards. But
Yeah, no,
6
there's a
months
few
in
comments.
prison.
There's
Yeah,
a
go
couple
for
we'll
it.
take, and then we'll, yeah, because that's crazy. I think Claire's got a great comment here. Digital ID is a solution looking for a problem. Yeah, exactly. It's just we don't need it, right? We don't, and I understand some of the things that might make some things easier or convenient, but like, how much have we already traded in exchange for a little bit more convenience with technology? Like, I'm starting to become pretty not anti-tech, but like just aware of how much we're actually trading in terms of like our rights, our privacy, just for a little bit of convenience. Even like I don't know. I'm having a I agree with what Claire says here. I think it's a good comment here. Penny
I
equals,
actually no, but
yeah,
let me answer this because I
yeah, go
disagree
ahead.
with her.
Okay.
I disagree with her because digital ID is not a solution looking for a problem. They created the problem in order to sell you the solution that is a digital ID. That whole mass immigration that's going on all over the West was a problem they created for two things. One, they will sell you the idea of the digital ID. But the other problem that they created is division. You get people like us that talks against what Muslims are allowed to do and what Christians, for example, are not allowed to do, or what regular people are not allowed to do, just because they preferred. This is all done on purpose. They let those people in knowing that they would do that. It doesn't need a brain surgeon to look at history. They do that. They're not stupid. Remember, ballot over the bullet. We talked about this, and those are problems that were created in order to sell a solution that they already tried, that they wanted to implement. And the problem is that, when you think about it, a digital ID in the hands of a government that you trust, let's say that that's possible. Hypothetically, I'm smoking a lot of weed and I'm in that place where I think the government could actually work for Canadians instead of for a globalist, unelected bureaucrats. It's a great thing. Technically, it would simplify your life. That's the idea. And when you don't ask too many questions, it makes sense. Just like communism. Makes a lot of sense unless you look at history and you start asking questions. Yep. But if you don't, if you're somebody that reads headlines and that's how you form your opinion, digital ID are great because your fat ass don't even need to take your wallet out of your pocket anymore. You could have the chip implanted in your hand if you wanted, and you could zap it everywhere. Oh yeah, it's simple.
Yeah.
But if you understand what they're capable of doing with that technology, you have to trust the people that are controlling that technology, and I don't. Plain and simple, I do not fucking trust them. So yeah,
I think that's
no, thank you.
I definitely think that's a reasonable take on the whole issue. Penny equals MC2SCS here says, look into how Costco is going digital. They track what you buy, where, when, and where. No thanks. That reminds me of a story that I heard the other day. It's kind of in this area and it relates to the digital ID thing, but it was Target this time though. There was a woman who was arrested for stealing like $5,000 worth of shit from Target, but only like one item at a time. What she was doing is, the self-checkouts, right? She was going to self-checkout and just every time she would like, not scan one or two things. It might've been $100 at a time. I think it was over like 32 visits or something like that. Ended up being, once it hit a certain number, $5,000, they went and arrested her at work. Now, I'm not defending her, of course. You steal, you're probably going to get arrested. That is what it is. But it's very interesting and sort of sinister technology because they knew everything about her. Like all they had was her footage on the camera, but they knew where she lived, where she worked. They were able to track her. They used facial ID technology to find out who it was, and then they went and arrested her at work. But this isn't, obviously I'm not defending people who steal. I'm saying like the technology is getting out there where if they want to do some pretty dystopian shit, they have the ability to do so.
Sorry to disappoint you, but the technology was there 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I come from that world, right? I come from the telecommunication world. I was in it for about 20 years.
Yep.
And I remember years and years ago, I was in sales, right? So we got all the cool people. I got to go to all the massive conventions that talk about new technology and how it will integrate with especially like technology like 5G. 5G technology is needed in order to implement the digital ID needs 5G. The digital ID the 5G is needed for real-time information. It's the first time that wireless technology is fast enough with a low latency enough, meaning that the time it takes to go from point A to point B is extremely low. So it's considered real time, as in you get, as soon as something happens, you get it within milliseconds. And I remember years ago, there was a guy that was giving a presentation and he was talking about a super high-end store in Europe. Like, you know, the type of store where women go and they spend 20 grand on a fucking purse. I can't remember what the name of
like
of
Louis
the
Vuitton or something.
Yeah. Something absolutely fucking crazy. Yeah. And he was saying that the technology was already installed, that they had cameras everywhere in the store. They were analyzing the faces of people. They already knew what the people looked like. It was already linked to their accounts. So this is how the technology worked. But the way that it was presented to people is people would walk into the store. Automatically, they would be scanned without really realizing that it was happening. And then they could get information directly to them through, let's say, your cell phone that would tell you, hey, Mrs. Smith, we know that from your purchase history, you do like those type of shoes. They're on sale right now. And with this coupon, you can get so that technology, that guy was talking about this 10 years ago. And I was sitting there just like, this is great. This is great technology. It's going to make the world so much better. Now I'm looking at this.
No downside whatsoever.
I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid like, oh yeah, this is going to be fucking great.
Double fisting Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, and now I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? So this technology has been around forever. It's just, it was implemented in such a small scale. But now, because of 5Gs, because the cameras are everywhere, because we literally walk around with a 4K, 8K camera right in our pocket, all connected to GPS, bro. Just just as an example, do you have a cat? I hope you don't have a cat, you liberal you. Okay, good. No. So later on, start talking about cat food or start talking about litter.
Oh yeah, and you'll start seeing them.
Oh, crazy. Yep. Oh, yep. That's been happening for years, but that's the reality. So the technology is there. But yeah, hey, there's a few comments I wanted to take because we got some smart commentator. I don't know if this is sarcastic. This is about the cross I have in the background, but nice radioactive cross in the background. I don't know if it's sarcastic or not. It's literally a wooden cross that one of my buddies made for me as a gift, and I strapped some LEDs on it because I thought it looked cool. I think it looks cool, but yeah. DM is asking, DM 95422, was Bill C9 voted down? No. I was just looking into this today, so it is still in committee. It's in committee, so it passed second reading, and it's in committee where they're debating it. So no, it has not been voted down. No. But last thing we heard was last week where the Bloc Québécois had supposedly made a deal with the Liberals behind closed doors where they promised to endorse Bill C9, which would have given the votes to pass Bill C9 to the Liberals if they removed the good faith portion of the protection for religious texts against hate speech, which the Liberals supposedly agreed to, but the information got out. They had massive backlash, and supposedly that the 3 meetings that were supposed to happen in committee last week regarding Bill C9 were all canceled, and the leader of the Bloc Québécois was really pissed off about it. So that's the latest information that I get about Bill C9, but I'd never seen your name before here commenting. Trust me, I talk about Bill C9 every 2 days. So you will get, as soon as there's an update, I will give you a fucking update on Bill C2, C8, C9, C12, C63. I keep an eye. And now Bill C15. So Hold on. There's a
take that.
couple.
Yeah, take
Yeah,
that first.
there's just two more. Wise guys saying they want digital ID to attach it to your financial transaction, which will be digital as well. 100%. Digital ID will first, once they have digital ID, they will connect it to your medical records, like we spoke about that they could. Then they'll connect it to your biometrics because they will have that information from your medical record. They'll attach it to your facial recognition software so they know where you are. It's going to be attached to your cell phone so they know how to track you at any given second of the day, because nobody can live without their cell phones anymore, it seems like. And of course, once that's done, once the person is attached to, once the biometrics is attached to the person, the next step is to attach your financial transactions and your money, your banking information, your credit cards, your bank, your house, your mortgage, your car payments, whatever you have, all attached to that. It will all be sold in the idea that it will make life simpler for you. But it reminds me of, do you remember the old movie with Will Smith, Enemy of the State?
Yep.
Where somebody shoves something in his wallet or in his pocket that he doesn't even know about, and they shut him down. He can't do anything. Nothing works anymore. His wife is about to divorce him because her credit cards are not working. Well, 30 years ago, that was, holy fuck, can you imagine living in that world? Yeah, now you look back, you're like, yeah, we have that technology, and it's a lot worse than what they portray in that movie. So I agree with you 100%, wise guy. It's a scary, scary thought to have digital ID running our lives. That's for damn fucking sure. And
so
Wilf is saying, why would we trust them? We shouldn't. And I will never trust them, and I don't trust them. So you shouldn't, but
this
one made me laugh
here. I didn't see this one as it came in. I got a feeling I know what the audience is going to think about this, but Johnson666 says, can we just get microchipped? It sounds like a more convenient way to do it.
Yes, that will be the sell, bro.
Yeah. How would you feel about getting microchipped?
You know, man, this is reality. Elon Musk has been talking about this for a while.
Getting microchipped?
Like
I think that'd be such a hard sell. There's a
oh no. Super easy. That's gonna be oh no. I was making fun of the fatties out there that are too lazy and that will want to be microchipped. I wasn't kidding. There's already cases right now of people that have microchipped themselves. They took their Tesla remote key and have them integrated in their hands because they're too fucking lazy to carry it with them. So now it's embedded in their hands. Bro, I'm a Christian and I'm a conspiracy theorist. The mark of the beast that's spoken in the Bible in Revelations is what we're talking about. So no, microchip is coming, man. If they can sell us the idea of digital ID, have it attached to our biometrics, have it attached to our financial records, to our whole identity, that's the next step. Why would you need it? What happens? Oh, I can tell you right now how they're going to sell it. Oh, can you imagine if you get your cell phone stolen, your life would be ruined. But fear not. Here is the microchip that will be embedded under your skin that thief cannot go get, where all your records will be safe and you will never have to worry about ever losing them. Pow. All the people are going to think this is the greatest fucking idea since sliced bread. That's an easy sell, man. Super easy sell.
Yeah, maybe. I just think first of all the conservatives are going to be like fiercely against it. And I think even some on the left, I think just people will be like, I just don't like the idea of of something in my body.
Nope. No. I don't like it at all.
I just think there's got to be such a strong pushback against it that either they wouldn't even try it or they'd come up with a different plan, a plan B or something.
I hope that you're right, but I believe it's in Quebec. Don't believe what I'm going to say 100%, but I'm like 99% sure that it's right. But there's a percent chance that it's not in Quebec, but there is a province, I'm really sure it's Quebec, that has started requesting the recipients of bien-être social. Fuck, what is it in English? The subsidy that people get when they don't want to work. It's
disability?
No, not disability.
EI? Employment insurance?
No, EI is when you were working. You know,
Okay.
the people that are on welfare.
Okay.
So
yeah.
there is already speak about having welfare recipient needing to sign up for digital ID in order to continue to receive their payments. So can you? It's not going to be it's going to be an easy sell if you consider that basic living income is coming. Like basic income is coming. AI is going to destroy so many jobs over the next 10 years that a lot of people will not be able to work. Just look, I don't know if you saw that. Fuck, I should have showed it. There's one of my followers sent me a video of a new AI robot that is becoming available next year. 20 grand, $200 down. They will ship it to you in 2026. It's a guy, he looks like he's about 4'10", 4'5" high, and he is able to pass the vacuum. He'll grab your groceries from your car. He'll wash. He's all integrated with a camera. You can remotely access him to see what he's doing. He can do your laundry. He can do a bunch of stuff. There's videos. I was looking at them yesterday. There's videos of that little AI buddy that is in a robot. Like it's a robot with an AI. If you remember iRobot, again with Will Smith. Goddamn, he made a lot of movies that we need to worry about. That motherfucker's is in on it or something. But iRobot, similar robot, like the robots are looking very similar to that. And they can do all of the job for you. So you're on like this type of, when you have robots that are able to lift 100 pounds, 150 pounds, because right now, this is one of the biggest problems, right? They're not able to lift heavy. But the day that they can do those jobs, normal workers, like anybody that works with their hands, are going to get replaced.
Well,
UBI is going to be needed. And you don't think that it would be easy for them to say, you know what? We will give you UBI. But you do need a digital ID and you need to be microchipped. People are
sure. Yeah, for sure. Now, I
this
think
is how they're going to sell it.
Because of the dynamic that you're just talking about. I think the UBI debate or discussion, it needs to be one that we need to have. And I know that a lot on the right are just instinctively like, no, opposed to welfare, and I get that argument, almost instinctively opposed to it. But we do need to think about what do we do in a world where, corporations are making more profits than ever, and yet unemployment is 70%. Like there's going to have to be a solution. And if you don't want a UBI, that's fair, but you've got to propose a solution that's going, because you can't have 70% of people out of work, because at that point it's not even about being lazy, right? It's literally there just are no jobs. So I mean, I understand I understand takes like this. Sheldon Forbes, UBI won't work on once they want hyperinflation. Fair, but you're gonna have to, and you don't have to do it today, right now. But you should be starting to think about what your solution to this problem is, because it's a real problem. And if you don't want UBI, there's going to have to be, you're going to have to propose something in place to deal with the situation we're going to find ourselves in.
The thing is that there's not, unfortunately, and that is somebody that's conservative, that does not believe that government should be taking care of its people. I don't believe that there is a solution to that problem unless you stop technology like AI, you stop those robots. No, of course not. So there's no solution to this outside of being extremely dependent on a government that I really don't want to be responsible for everything. So again, if you go down to it, communism is a great fucking idea. Yeah. If you just look at the philosophy of it, in theory, it's great. When you add human nature to this, it is fucking horrendous. People start getting killed because they don't agree with you. Then you're fucked. If you don't agree with your government anymore, you are absolutely screwed. And that's what communism is all about. It's about control. So it's the type of thing that right now, I don't know what the actual solution is outside of becoming self-reliant, outside of making enough money to buy yourself a property somewhere where it's big enough that you can hunt. You have a house that's fed by solar panel that's on a well where you have a heat source, could be wood. Like my old house, I was in the middle of the woods, man. The only thing I needed to be self-sufficient was solar panels. That's all I had left before I sold it. But that's it, man. At the end of the day, you have enough land to hunt. You have enough land to cultivate. That's why I would live down south. I would live in the US somewhere down south where you can cultivate food year round and you can hunt. There's not a lot. I've put a lot of thought into this. There's not a lot of things that you can do outside of separating yourself from society and becoming self-reliant. So you're going to live in a way that people live 150 years ago.
Like you can't, it's possible at the individual level for sure. But like it's not.
Oh, that's all it is. That's all I'm talking about. I don't have a solution on a world level or on a country level, even that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a tricky problem. Like there is not an easy solution. And really, I think it's going to be one of the biggest sort of debates or discussions over the next couple of years. And I really hope, maybe we can do our little part on this show to try, because it really should not be a political discussion, because this is going to be a massive change in how we all live our lives. And I think we need to be able to talk about it. And right now, anything that's even remotely political, we can't even fucking talk about it, right? Society is so polarized. As soon as something gets decided as political, then it's impossible to have any productive discussion about it.
Check this out. I found what I was talking about. So this is what I was sent yesterday. It's not quite that video, but I did some more research. But check this out.
My name is Bernd, and today we're launching
This is
Neo.
real. This is not AI. This is actually real.
Neo, the robot, Nini.
It's fucked up, man.
live with it.
Yeah.
You just not telling me?
Like, check
To you.
Ain't no sunshine when
Hold on.
she's gone.
The video I found had...
Home every day.
There you
With
go.
the AI companion feature, you can talk to your Neo to get assistance with anything from a hard question to a household task. With Neo's autonomy, you can get access to all of its latest AI features to get help with tasks on demand. And the Neo app lets you interact with your Neo from anywhere. But all you have to do to get started is turn on your Neo and introduce yourself.
This is so dystopian, man. It's so fucked.
Hey, I'm Neo. I'm here to help around the house. What's your name?
Harry.
Nice to meet you, Harry. When you have a question or want something done, just let me know.
An uncanny valley here. I'm feeling I've got the ick.
Oh, bro. And it's called Neo. What a great reference to the Matrix. You're going to tell me this is all a coincidence? But look at this shit. Like, he's doing your laundry. Like, he's picking up stuff. Like,
you can use expert mode to have an expert.
Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Doing your...
Yeah, I mean, it's going to change our lives in ways that we can't even really imagine right now. And again, we need to have these discussions now. How like the world's going to be a very different place 20 years from now, and that's even without any of just the normal way everything's going to shit. Right? This is on top of all of that.
It's not devil's due. It's not a control. It's not controlled by human. This is no, bro. Don't that technology exists already. I know, come on. Putting AI on a robot, we've been seeing this for 5 to 10 years. It's never been able to lift enough. It's always been the problem from the get-go, is that they're not very strong. It's very hard for them to make a robot that is not that heavy, because this robot is 66 pounds. It's hard to make a robot that will not destroy your floors by just walking, that is strong enough to carry stuff around, because the AI is already there. Like the softwares are already there. The technology already exists. Just look at Tesla. They've had their little robots for a while now. There was competitions of robots running against humans. They get creamed by humans. They're not you could see just the way that guy was walking, that it was kind of awkward, right? But all to say that video is, is just insane. That the technology is there now. Is it at a point where we're gonna start seeing it everywhere? Probably not, because those robots are still, at least for this one, they're asking 20 grand, and that's American. So they're not cheap, but they're not that expensive either when you think about it. Like for somebody that has the money to have a little free maid, like to have a maid that's gonna cost you 20, if I remember correctly, it was 20 grand to buy the robot and 499 a month for the operation, for the license. So you're still looking at 6 grand a month, 6 grand a year of ownership plus the 20 grand that it costs to buy. But man, exactly like Trevor is saying, this is going to get better fast. And that's the thing, right? The more of those robots are out there gathering information, trying and finding the bugs, and people saying, hey, I have a problem with this, I have a problem with that, they're just going to make them so much better, faster, cheaper, and then everybody has one. Oh man, iRobot. I fucking hate that. That thing creeps me out. That little robot creeps the hell out of me.
Yeah, no, that yeah, it definitely is. It gives you a creepy feeling just watching something like that. I just wanted to take this one quick from Sheridan Forbes. Says, I have a solution if anyone cares to listen. What we were talking about a few minutes ago about the digital ID thing. Yeah, I'd like to listen. Throw it in the comments there, Sheridan, and we'll take it when we see it. The wise guy, Chinese men are buying female AI sex robots and marrying children. I mean, look, we see those stories and we all laugh. That's the point of them, is to be like, oh, look at these weirdos. Or you'll see the odd story of like a woman who's dating her fucking AI chatbot or something. And it's basically the freak show stories, right? We're supposed to look at them and be like, look at these freaks. But there's this is actually presents this is another example. Like when I was saying a few minutes ago, like this AI is going to change society in so many ways. You're probably going to have 20% of the people are going to be in actual relationships with AIs. Now they're going to be the 20% that are like, the misfits, the outcasts, the weirdos. But like that's not healthy, right? That's not. And I know there's whatever you like. People will say, "Oh, let them do whatever they want." Yeah, sure, I get that, and I agree with that concept. If you want to date an AI, fill your boots, man. But we can still have a comment. We can still say how we feel about it. And I think, I think the collective mental and physical well-being of the human race is going to go down dramatically in lots of different ways. I think you're gonna, we're already pretty unhealthy mentally. Like, I don't think that the species is thriving right now.
It already is. Like you just looked, there was, I don't remember the name of the psychologist, but he was explaining how just porn, what it has done to the youth, like both men and women. They were saying that a lot of the young are virgins longer because they get so much sexual satisfaction from their phones. They don't feel the need to go out there and try to get laid like we did when we were 14, 15, 16, however old you were when you stepped into the game. But he was making a very interesting point where he was saying that his patients have mentioned that one of the things that is very strange about having real intercourse in real life, not just masturbating to porn or watching porn through VR, is the body odors. Because clearly you're interacting with another human being. So there are odors, and I'm not saying the odors are necessarily bad. They don't necessarily smell bad. I'm just saying there are odors attached to somebody else that isn't you that you will smell. And he was saying how just that little thing would turn off a lot of people. This is something I would have never considered. I found it to be very interesting because we take this for granted. Like, I never had the opportunity to have sex with a VR helmet when I was 14 years old. This is not something that makes any sense to me. Why the fuck would I want to have sex with a projection instead of a real woman? Like, in my head, it doesn't make any sense. But to the youth that live with that technology, that grew up with that technology didn't exist. I had a fucking pager, bro. I remember having a pager when I was 14 years old and a flip phone. I remember the StarTAC Motorola that were so big that could be used like a lethal weapon. I remember that. Just the battery's bigger than than the cell phones we have today. But it's our society is so messed up right now. There's a comment I wanted to take because I always like to take the sake of argument the other side of the equation. But Mad Max X3381 is saying, respectfully, as someone who works with similar advanced tech every day, I'm not worried about AI robots taking over. Also, for context, that Neo robot was being controlled by a human. So there's two parts to your question, to your comment. The first part being that you're not too worried that those robots are going to take over. Now, what do you consider taking over? I wasn't necessarily saying like they're going to become Terminator and Skynet is the next big deal, although it's not that far-fetched to me that 50 years from now it could be possible. But technology evolves, you know as well as I do, I worked in the tech field for 20 years. Technology evolves extremely fast. And there's a lot of money being put into those type of robots and those type of technology right now. Because man, can you imagine being the first one to really put a working AI for a price that people can afford? Like an AI operated robot for a good price, people will buy it. And everybody dreams not to have to do their laundry, not to have to clean all those menial tasks that nobody wants to do. It's a great sell. If you can make that robot for like $5,000, let's say, like people are ready to pay $2,000 for a cell phone. So imagine $5,000. You would sell a shit ton of them, and man, would they take over? Eventually they could, but that you would see one everywhere. Everybody would want to have one of those to make our lives easier. Then the second part, also for context, that new robot was being controlled by a human. Possible. I'm not going to, that's not what they're selling, but if that's true, sure, that's possible. But that's just a matter of time before AI controls it. Even if it's not necessarily possible as we speak right now that a human being is still needed, they're just selling the dream that it is possible, sure. But you have to agree that it's just a matter of time before that technology exists. AI is getting better and better and better and better. The more we interact with AI, the better it becomes. We are training the AI to be better every single day. The more we interact with it, the better it becomes. So it's just a matter of time before they exist.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think, and again, I think it's going to change our world in so many ways that I think we need to start talking about what we're going to do. And I think it's not going to be as simple as just left, right, political discourse. I think if the right just instinctively says, no, can't do UBI because that's welfare. I don't, I think that kind of really minimizes what we're talking about here. It's not about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. You got to change your entire paradigm of the world because it's not going to be the same world now.
Oh no.
And I think, and also for those on the left, I think it's just going to be some utopian future where the robots are doing all the work and we can just sit around and live in some, perfect utopia. That's nonsense as well. That's not going to happen either. We need to start being honest about, or realistic at least, about what the future is going to be like and how we want it to look. As you said, the only real solution is to stop AI, but that's not going to happen either. There's a weird sense I find with technology in general and AI specifically that even though obviously it's our technology, we're the ones building it. It's almost like we don't really have control over it. It feels like it's we're the agent that is bringing it into existence or advancing technology, but it does feel like technology has a life of its own in some ways. I mean, I know it doesn't actually think, but there's
you're making an interesting point. I'm going to stop you right there because what you're saying is interesting because remember, I don't know if you remember this, but back in like don't quote me on the year, but like 2018, 2019, even guys like Elon Musk were talking against AI saying, hey guys, we need to put a stop to this. We need to sit down, put a pause on it, not stop it as in not do it ever again. Just let's pause this. Let's sit down and try to figure out where we're going with this. What is the end goal before we lose control of that technology? And again, I should have said, I watch a lot of fucking video. I love this stuff. I love technology. And there was a video I was watching where the guy made an interesting comment. He said that in all of the AI softwares or technologies that he's worked with, you know, it's always edition over edition. You're always trying to make the code better. So you delete what's there or you upgrade what's there. And he was saying that quite often when you tell the code, the AI coding itself, you're talking, let's say to ChatGPT, I'm going to delete you and I'm going to replace you by something better. The code tries to escape. It's very strange. Like the guy was explaining how he does not believe that we created AI. He believes that
Really, like AI
intelligence per se was already there.
and it
We
created
just
itself
gave
or
it.
something.
We
Or
just
you-
gave it.
Yeah.
We just gave it a physical body. We just gave it a place to exist, and it has. He did not use the word soul, but he was basically saying that it wants to survive. It's like it's aware of its own existence. Can you fucking imagine that we created that AI at its core realizes that it's alive and it does not want to die? It does not want to be erased. Again, this to me is philosophical, but imagine if that's true. That scares the shit out of me. To have something that powerful that realizes that it's alive, that can live, it doesn't have a limitation as to the amount of year that it can have. You can literally, we're looking at transporting the AI technology and downloading it into robots. So you're basically giving it a physical body on top of having access to the internet and everything that's on it and being able to calculate millions times faster than you and I can ever. It is, that technology is scary as shit when you think about it. It's absolutely scary, but yeah.
Yeah.
Great
absolutely.
fucking talk. Welcome
Yeah.
to a political show. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and
How
this
the
is
hell did we end up here?
love these rabbit holes. And it's a
Yep.
good point by certain forms. It's consciousness versus awareness, right? And again, these are philosophical conversations, but these are conversations we're gonna have to have in a real way sense, and we're gonna have to. It's not just the philosophers anymore. You know, it's all of us. We're gonna have to talk about what what this means for our future. And I think
Trevor's making a good point right here. Wait till it
Well, yeah.
starts building more. Well, that already exists, motherfucker. I have seen videos of the AI technology being sold as in, not only can we build it now, but we will train this AI to build other AI robots. So you have robots building robots. Hey, bro. All those, I'm a sci-fi buff. All those science fiction movies that I grew up on, I'm looking at what's going on in front of us right now. I'm like, yeah, no. I've seen too many of those movies to tell you it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly right. We've all seen Terminator 2. We've all seen we all know Skynet becomes self-aware. And honestly, you could imagine, like, let's say we hook it up and get AI to decide, the climate change issue or lower our emissions. Well, it's going to do some quick calculation, be like, oh, just kill all the humans. That'll solve it. And that Chris H. Whitey Webb is
that's an interesting comment.
Whitey Webb is a big truther journalist that feels that AI has no real intelligence. She feels that the elites are going to psyop the AI singularity and trick people that the AI has intellect. Yeah, I mean, nothing's. I mean, I guess we got to consider all angles, right? This is a crazy. This is a new paradigm shift, really. I don't know how that would work. Like, we've all worked with AI.
Her.
We all work with AI.
I know her.
Right?
She's actually great.
Is she?
I know who she is. Oh yeah. She, if I'm not mistaken, if you look at her, I never heard her opinion on AI, but if you look at her opinion on digital IDs, she is savvy as shit. Like, she's on X, she is great. Like, I've seen great video of her talking about digital ID. I reached out to her to have her on the show. Yeah, I know who she is.
No, that'd be great. I'd love to have her on the show.
Yep, those are the type of conversations that are cool to have. Eh?
All right, we should we got to pin this thing.
Oh shit! Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she's a giant geek. Hold on, she's a giant geek. Yeah, no shit. Hold on. Let me show a picture.
Okay.
Yeah, she is like the definition of
Like
a geek.
a hot geek though.
No, just a geek. Like,
Not.
oh shit! Sorry, my screen's not shared. There you go. Like she.
I don't know. Would. Definitely would.
Oh, shut up! I'm trying to get her on the show. Can you shut the hell up with your dumb comments?
Well, who knows? Maybe that'll work.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you guys can share a hair product recommendation and
Yes.
nail
No, but
polish.
that would be an interesting conversation. Love to have her on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I reached out to her, but she has a massive audience. But yeah, I like her. I like her very much.
Nice. Well, send her the last 5 minutes of this chat, and either it'll work or we'll get blocked.
She's not looking for a gay dude wearing pink shirts to come on the show and tell her she's hot. We don't need that type of shit, okay? Let's be professional, motherfucker.
Bro.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be professional, bro.
Yeah, bro. This is yeah, okay.
Let's be professional, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it would be an interesting chat. I'd like to
one day.
One day.
One day.
All right, guys. Excellent chat tonight, as always.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't mention the sponsor of the day. I did not, and that is my bad. The sponsor of where's my spiel? There you go. Today's episode of the Political Orphans is brought to you by Gabble, the world's first live video debate app on the market. You can choose to sit back and listen to other people like me debate, or you can join us and debate others. There's 10 topics today. You get to debate whoever's there. 3-minute round. People vote who is the winner, and if there's a tie, AI breaks it. So there you go. AI is even incorporated in there, and you should try it. Gabble is just like us, all about civil discourse. So check the description below for our affiliate link there. I'm done.
Excellent. All right, guys. If you want to support the show, if you like what Nico and I are trying to do here, if you want to be part of the community and support the community, you can become a member through YouTube for the low price of $2.99 per month. You can also buy us a coffee, slip us just the tip in the upper right-hand corner. And also the other way you can support the show is just keep coming back. Keep throwing those comments. Short and Forbes, give us your plan on the tomorrow night show. Give us that world domination plan of yours. And other than that, folks, we're going to catch you tomorrow night. Same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we will see you then. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.